All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of our Jacksonville Jaguars YouTube series, simulation, rebuilding, whatever you want to call it. I don't even care. First things first, getting right into it. Last season, we finished off with an excellent 14-2 record in the regular season. As it turned out, we dropped our first playoff game, bounced in the division round. Unacceptable. We start off this offseason by making a salary cap move. We cut a player we invested in a few years ago, reason being we wanted to do this. This is our final chance to re-sign one of our two original corners from this team who have developed into league-wide stars. This is Dwayne Gratz right here. Dwayne Gratz, 95 overall, 27 years of age, absolutely dominant. Top Pro Bowler in the AFC last season. He wants roughly $8 million a year to come back, and we make him a hell of an offer. Once clearing the way with Eugene Monroe's contract, by the way, we had to eat $1.5 million guaranteed. However, we still, even with that taken into account, save just over $7 million on his salary. And we were able to rebuild that left tackle side of the line. Of course, we still have Bruce Campbell, 90-plus, left tackle, to whom we're only paying about $3 million this year. Completely unguaranteed money. We still have a very competent backup there in Marcel Jones, who's making just about $1 million a season. And with the draft coming up, we were able to at least have an opportunity to keep that side of our offensive line very strong. And so we get rid of Monroe, again, an original Jaguar who we invested in right away in this series, the first player we re-upped. And he had an excellent season last year, which followed a season where we completely he didn't play once. He was out for the entire year with a complete PCL tear. And before that, his injury situation was just never up to code. So we were able to reinvest in Gratz. McCray goes to free agency, which is a drag. It'd be nice to have him back. But last season, we invested in Greenwood. We, of course, have Terrell Jefferson under his rookie contract, which is a very nice contract for us. Not very expensive. And so with that being the case, we have three truly elite corners on this squad. They will appear on the depth chart as they have for the last few years. Jefferson in the first slot, Gratz in the second slot, and Greenwood as the league's best nickel corner. Again, sucks to lose Monroe, but through the draft, we had earmarked a player who we thought could come in and fit that role. The next spot we're looking to fill, because Denard Robinson refused to re-up with us last year, we're looking for a cat to come in, fill in that role. And on an off chance that they were willing to move him, I offered a late first-round pick to the Seahawks for Skittles, Marshawn Lynch. They accepted. Boom. And so suddenly we go from a team with a relatively unknown group of guys in the backfield, Stephen Ridley being the only guy who's really got a household name ring to him, to all of a sudden having one of the best backs in the league. Now, obviously trading a first-round pick away for a 31-year-old running back, typically something you look at and say, wow, what a horrible move. But the reality is, for anybody who's been watching this series, you guys know full well, this is the final year of this series. This is the last year that the Jags have a chance at the Super Bowl. The goal from day one in this series was to win a Super Bowl with the Jaguars. In year 3, we got them there. They dropped the game to Minnesota. Last year, after a dominant regular season, the team blew it in the divisional round of the playoffs, losing by a score. This is the last year. This is the final year. So for us right now, not a lot of draft picks are going to become starters, be impact players. We're mostly looking for cats who are going to come in and give us one hell of a year, because that's all we got left. Now, I should say I didn't trade away any picks for next season because I thought that would be kind of cheating. You know, I didn't use any 2018 season picks in any trades, because again, that's kind of scummy, not really fair. However, we get rid of our last first round, because we have 4 first-round picks coming up for this draft, and so we were able to use one of them to bring in Skittles, who's the best part of him actually is that for this season, Skittles, he's only under contract for 4 more years. But his because the Seahawks ate some money on him, his cap hit is only about $2.8 million this season, which is a bargain. Certainly less than we would have had to pay Denard Robinson had he been willing to stay. So following up what's on the screen right now, here we are looking for an outside linebacker, and I would like to apologize because the eventual move that we actually made, I did not get recorded. Levante David from the Bucks, Von Miller from the Broncos, and Barkevious Mingo of the Browns are the three players to whom we were looking for to be our next starting outside linebacker. The hole is filled there with last year's starter. Leaving, that player being Wesley Woodyard, who he originally signed as a free agent 3 off seasons ago. He signed a 3-year, $16 million deal. He wanted $9 million to come back, and so he was not welcome for that reason. We just simply cannot afford to pay that. We're right up against the cap. Not really possible for us to add a lot of salary without reducing a bunch. And outside of Monroe, really not any opportunity for us to do that. And so you can see here the extravagant deals I made for a lot of these guys. Huge offers, particularly for Von Miller, the best outside linebacker in this game at this point. Finally, you can see here Mingo, they turned down a 7 and 8 overall offer. That is ridiculous. These first-round picks, 3 first-rounders, they still turn them down for Mingo. Clearly don't want to get rid of the guy. However, shortly after making this offer, I went back. I completed the rest of this offseason. I made all of our free agent moves. And following free agency, that same 7th overall, 8th overall trade, I offered the Browns for Barkevious Mingo. Excuse me. They accepted. They took it. They ran with it. It's a huge, and by the way, here's the free agency list. Some huge names: Vince Wilfork, Stevie Johnson, Patrick Chung, Kenny Vaccaro. My good, there's Demetrius McCray with about 16 different offers, the former Jacksonville Jaguar. The downside with this list, and the reason why I desperately wanted to get that trade done to bring in one of those guys, either David, Mingo, or Von Miller, of course, of the Denver Broncos, was because, unfortunately, this list really did not play to our strengths. I was hoping that a dominant outside linebacker would come up. Instead, most of the list were players who we didn't really need. The best outside linebacker available was Wesley Woodyard, the former Jacksonville Jaguar. There were a lot of great corners available, but again, we just invested in a few really good corners. Just not a lot of guys at positions of need for us. Lots of great guards, for instance, some solid defensive tackles, but again, just not positions where we have need. Those are positions where we're very much set with what we already have, and so we were not very active players in free agency. We ended up making one signing. I'll address that as soon as it's finalized up on the list. And here you can see actually league signings. The places where players ended up. Ben Grubbs goes back to the Saints. You can see there just a moment ago was on the screen. Shamarko Thomas goes to the Buffalo Bills. Ironically, one of our guys there in our Buffalo Bills season. You can see some former Jags there. You saw the deal that Eugene Monroe. Wesley Woodyard goes for huge money. He gets his $9 million a year going to the Oakland Raiders. Good for him. More power to him. Getting paid, getting his money, as did Eugene Monroe. I believe Eugene Monroe's deal, when I just saw it, there was 3 years, $19 million. Not sure if that's the case. Going on to quarterbacks, another former Jaguar getting paid, Matt Scott, our backup quarterback of the last 4 seasons, was a rookie working behind Blaine Gabbert in year 1, was the backup for Juan Delian for 3 years. He gets $31 million over 4 seasons to go play for the Raiders. Madden, the only game or only place where an NFL player can get paid $31 million over 4 years after not playing. So anyways, that basically wraps up all of our moves. We made one signing in free agency. Again, I don't believe I got that one, the negotiation anyways, the offer recorded. But Michael Kendricks, former middle linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, a guy who I desperately wanted when this series started before we ended up making the trade for Darrell Washington, which actually has worked out far better for us than I think anyone could have hoped. Michael Kendricks has been moved to the outside linebacker spot. He's got 90 speed, 92 acceleration, just a demon. His tackling needs some work, but he's going to be some great depth there. Between him and Julian Stanford, we have wonderful depth at the outside linebacker spot, not to mention Felix Atwater, our first pick from last year's draft. And then, boom, after this, we managed to bring in Barkevious Mingo. And I apologize again for not having that footage. The reason I don't have it is because after that free agent signing with Kendricks, I said, our outside linebacker spot is in better shape than it was, but not really better than it was last season. And so just on a whim, I went back and made the same offer, thinking, what are the chances they're going to take something they didn't take before? But hell, they did. Also, 2 quick moves I made. Again, all this is on the PDF for you guys in the exact order I went through. After making that trade for Mingo, I traded 2 second-rounders for this season back to the Browns for the 15th pick in this draft and a 4th rounder, just trying to position ourselves for the draft. And so to talk about the draft, I'll turn it over to Past Tuxedo T-Shirt. He's going to help us out, give you guys all the info we need for our scouting, and then he's going to do live commentary over the draft. I've already done it. I know him quite well, so take it away, Past Tuxedo T-Shirt. All right, guys, here we go. Thank you so much, Future Tuxedo T-Shirt. Boom. We are starting the draft right now. It is going live. Just want to say I've just finished in real time making these off-season moves, and I am so freaking excited to get this season started. It's going to be great. First things first, quickly to break it down. Now, as I think I'll discuss in the future when I record the video and audio that you just, well, not the video, I've recorded the video, the audio that you guys have just heard. I'll mention this, of course, given the process of going through these 4 previous seasons, this being the final season of this series. We're not looking for depth guys at this point who are going to develop into future starters. We need depth guys, sure, in case of injuries, but we're a pretty deep team pretty much across the board. Not a lot of places where we're looking for depth. Not a lot of places where we're looking for impact starters. We're mostly at this point looking for 1 or 2 guys that'll put us over the edge. And the draft isn't really what that's for. So some of our offseason decisions obviously not made with the future in mind, but that's, of course, because we have just a short while to go. Now, with that being said, we're targeting just 4 players today. We've made moves to get rid of our wealth of picks. Just 2 guys on the docket. Just 4 guys on the docket, just 2 of whom are going to be impact players, or at least we're hoping to be impact players this year. The first one is this gentleman, Richie Callender. We have been looking for an impact tight end in every draft that's come and gone over the past 4 seasons, and I think we might have found the guy. Now, of course, Derek Carrier, 91 overall at the moment. He's got this tight end starting spot locked up. However, after Antonio Gates retired to start this offseason, we need a second guy, and this cat out of Oklahoma, I think, is the guy to do it. He's who we're going to be targeting with the 15th pick. He's a spread guy. He's got the speed. He doesn't have great size for a tight end, but he's got the speed, 86 speed, 85 acceleration to get open, to come open in the slot or at the second tight end spot. He's got decent hands. B catching is pretty good for a tight end to start. B catching in traffic is very good for a tight end to spot. Spectacular catch of B doesn't hurt at all. After that, release of B is great. It means he's getting up to the line now. He's only 6'3", and his jumping ability isn't great, which means for a tight end, he doesn't have a huge amount of range. But with that being said, I think he could give us a lot of great stuff. His injuries in A, which we always love to see. His durabilities in A. And so in case Derek Carrier, knock on wood, goes down this season, I think that Richie Callender could be a very suitable and a very nice backup to him. Now, our next pick, we're looking for a true stud. And I don't mean that saying, oh, yeah, we need to find a stud. I'm just saying we found one. Chandler Gartner is slated to go in the late second round of this pick or draft. And this pick is going to be an absolute steal. This guy, 6'3", 315 out of Michigan State. Again, a little undersized. But I have, through looking for our tight ends, of course, with us forced to release Eugene Monroe at the beginning of this offseason, looking through these top left tackle prospects, there's 2 guys with dominant strength, Ajayi and Gartner. Gartner, 97 strength, and boom. He had an A for pass blocking, turns out to be a big fat 90. Run blocking, already good to go. This is a guy with his impact blocking, his strength, his everything else. He's ready to start in the National Football League. Now, with that being said, his awareness a little low. There's some things that we need to work on. He's going to be an extra offensive lineman this year. However, he is going to. We're hoping to pick him late in the first round with our second first-round pick. So we're going way above where he's supposed to be picked just to make sure we land this cat. And who knows? I think to start the season, Bruce Campbell will have the left tackle spot. But as time goes on, who knows? Maybe Gartner sneaks in there. Also, he's going to be great depth for along the offensive line. We do not have a backup left guard or center on this team. We currently have an excellent backup right tackle, a fairly good backup left tackle, and a decent backup right guard. Gartner is going to be able to fill in the exact role that Monroe did last year, which was as soon as the first guy on the O-line goes down, boom, Gartner's in there as an elite-level replacement. Not an elite level in terms of a general offensive lineman. He's a very good offensive lineman, but in terms of the sixth best guy on a team, he's going to be truly elite. My guess is his overall is already going to be in the mid-80s as a completely raw rookie. Aside from that, looking for a couple of impact players, just guys who can return the football. Brandon Banks, disappointing for the last 2 seasons. Before that, we brought in Dexter McCluster. He was disappointing. The 2 guys I'm taking a look at, Luis Vilos, halfback out of Fort Valley State. The dude's got 96 speed, 98 acceleration. Just checking out a bunch of dudes' return numbers. His was pretty darn good. Found that. Running capability. Wide receiver, unable to check out. Did not have enough points. Again, just checking. It's really cheap to check out different people's return numbers. Not cheap to check out their speed. But Brett Bergen did manage to show up with a nice return letter. What was it now? I'm trying to find it. Return number is a B. As you can see, just trying to scout some of the little guys here. A B, but with his size being what it is, 5'7", 198, that's return size. I don't know if he'll be fast, but we're burning a 5th rounder on him. Just hoping, taking a flyer on him, hoping that he might be the return guy who we need. And hey, you can always use extra wide receiver depth. So with that being the case, here we go. Let's advance the draft. Next user pick. Again, I did not spend a ton of time on this draft this season. In the past, we have done that. We've spent a lot of time going through there. You can see Samuel Ajayi going 9th overall, way above where he's supposed to go. Petrovic, the dominant halfback of this draft, going 4th overall to the Colts. We're going to go ahead and make our pick here at 15th. We are selecting a backup tight end. Pretty amazing that this team is deep enough that a 15th overall selection, who my guess is going to be between 80 and 84 overall once he's drafted, is going to be a backup. But with that being said, hey, this team is all in for the 2017 season, 5th and final season of this Jacksonville Jaguars series. You got to take it this year. We made it to the big dance. We lost 2 years ago. Last year, after a phenomenal season, we blew it down the stretch. Unacceptable. This is our year, 2017, the year of the Jaguar. And so, here we go. 23rd overall pick. You can see some of the selections here for those of you who might be familiar with this draft already. PJ Saint. Gotta love that name. Making an appearance for the Titans at 22. Reason I find that funny is one of the guys we originally looked at in this series to be our franchise center before we drafted wonderfully. And we're able to find Rob Hardy, who has become a perennial all-pro center for us, was the Titans' current center. I forget his name at the moment. Maybe that'll come back to me. So Chandler Gardner, boom. Moving way up the draft board, shocking the entire football world. Again, a little undersized at 6'3" for a left tackle, but when you got 97 strength, I don't really care how tall you are. You could play left tackle for me if you're 5'10". Does not matter to me. So here we go. Next user pick, Gardner, a Jaguar at 23, following Calendar, a Jaguar at 15. Both guys selected well, up and above where they're supposed to be selected. But hey, when you find 2 cats with amazing skills and everything they bring to the table, there's no need waiting on them. I mean, you can wait on them to a degree, but not so much that you risk losing them. You never want to be in that position. So here we go. We're looking at this point for halfback Luis Vilos, and here he is, slated to go not a KC Reed, Kansas City, Andy Reid? We'll ignore that. So Luis Vilos, he's a speed demon, decent return man. Don't know anything about him at the moment, but he's been picked. Just one of the 2 return guys I've targeted, and will advance ahead. He goes in the 4th round. That's above where he was supposed to get picked by about 30 selections, and we'll do it again with Brett Bergen going mid-5th round. He's expected to go 15th in the 6th round, so he's another full round ahead of where he's supposed to go. But again, you may as well do it when you got nothing to lose at this point. And so Brett Bergen, 5'7", 198 out of St. Francis. He's been selected. And so the Jaguars get all 4 of their targets. Not that that's a surprise. We're going way above all the picks, just making sure we get in, get out with exactly what we want. And let's go ahead, advance to end of draft. We are done selecting. Fastest draft in the history of the Tuxedo T-Shirt YouTube channel. Pretty stellar in this episode 13. Getting the draft done. We're going to advance immediately following this draft. Check out our signings. Check out their numbers, their capabilities, and then quickly go through the league. Check out who else is there. Personally, loving exactly what we got. I was not. It wasn't as if I was not anticipating getting exactly what we got, but I'm very happy we were able to secure those players. Rookie signings. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. List pops up. Calendar, Gardner, our 2 top picks, 15th, 23rd overall, and boom, you can see that. Calendar, 81. Am I good? Gardner, even higher than I thought. 87 overall as a rookie. That is stellar. Vilos and Bergen, their overall numbers are in the dirt, but we will soon see why and exactly what their actual capabilities are. All we need for them is to be return men, so we'll see how that goes. As you can see, wow, 98 acceleration for Vilos. We did have that number. And Bergen, ouch, 75 for him. He's not going to be usable at that as a returner. So Bergen likely to be cut. Still worth taking a flyer on him, if you ask me. Vilos could be the return guy, though that agility number of 79 is a bit worrisome. Going down the list, here we go. Catching in traffic, 77. 80 catching for Calendar. That's going to be usable right away. We'll have to work on the catching in traffic just a little bit, but that's all right. Impact blocking, boom, 84 for Gardner. That's a great number. Injury rating for all these guys. Velo's a little low, but Gardner and Calendar doing very nicely. Decent juke move for Velos. Jumping ability not there, but he's a halfback, so that's to be expected. Return of 74. Bergen's is 83, though. I'm going to need to see his speed before making any decisions about that. Pass blocking, boom, 90 from Gardner. We knew that was coming. Personality, 82. I like that with Calendar. He's going to sell some jerseys. Keep going on the way. Release of 83. Wow, Calendar. Very nice release. Very nice route running ability for him as well. Shocked to see Bergen's route running that high at 73 for a guy with no awareness. Run blocking, great number for Chandler. 83. We saw that coming. Calendar, that's a bit low for the tight end. We'll see how that goes. Spectacular catch of 85. Calendar, what a beast. And, oh, goodness, Brett Bergen, 76 speed rating. He's useless. Officially cut. I mean, he's technically still under contract, but he will be officially cut in just a moment. Velos 96 speed, Calendar 86. Gotta love it. Stamina, not great for any of these guys, actually. Though none of them will be starters immediately, so we'll have a little bit of time to pick that up. Strength. Ooh, you gotta love that number from Velos. You gotta love it from all the guys. I mean, Bergen doesn't matter because he's cut. But holy smokes. 74 from Velos. That guy's a physical freak. He doesn't seem to have any actual skills, but man, he's got amazing acceleration, amazing speed. He doesn't have the agility, but he's got, wow, craziness. Craziness. Aside from that trucking ability, it's good to know Chandler Gardner can truck people for all those times he's going to carry the football. I jest, of course. And so, wow, only 3 guys in the entire class, or pardon me, well, 3 guys will stay with the team, presumably. But hey, still not bad. Getting 2 guys in the 80s, pretty darn good, as we're seeing here. We'll go ahead, we'll order future other teams' picks by overall. Marty Brock, right guard, 76. That's a decent deal. Remember, not all of these players are going to look the same to me as they will to their teams. For example, both of my defensive end spots are favored towards speed rushers. So if I see, if I'm looking at through my account, players who have been selected, for say a 3-4 defensive scheme, or you have bigger ends, stronger ends, guys who don't have as much speed, are more run stoppers than pass rushers. They're going to look very different to me. Wow, nice pick. 11th overall to the Steelers. Andre J, 84 overall strong safety. Nice selection for them. Don Fred McMullen, 14th pick, 80 overall to the Texans. Titans, PJ Saint, center we talked about. 21 years old, out of Miami, 82. Very nice number for them. Vikings, kind of wash out. Bears, I'm just going through these back. Decent quarterback. Sir Simpson, gotta love that name. Corner, out of Michigan State. Decent number. Xavier Williams out of William and Mary. And wow, Emmanuel Nakwashsa out of Iowa State. 3 corners in their first 3 selections. That's what I'm reacting to. In the first 42 selections of the draft, 3 corners to the Bengals. You got to wonder what their pass defense was like last year. Evander Eatman, great number for him. Left end in the second round, 83 overall. That's pretty stellar. Got to be a great pass rusher. Clifford Franklin, wide receiver, the Broncos, decent. 81 overall in the third round. That's a steal. Browns, 79. This is the Browns, of course, had picks from us. They used one on Dejuan Robbins, middle linebacker of Arizona State. That's a very disappointing selection. 73 overall at 8. You should always get a better player than that at 8th overall. And then left outside linebacker. Presumably, this is the guy they're picking to replace Barkevious Mingo. 7th overall. He's just 71. Ouch. That is not good. Mind you, his acceleration's good. Not nearly as good as Mingo, the middle linebacker. 74 acceleration. That's almost useless. The Browns continuing to draft like the Browns, even in this one. Poor Browns. I gotta say, I love the Browns in real life. Such passionate fans, but man, that team is incapable of making a good decision. Punter in the 4th round, Donnie Lansdale, 78 overall for the Bucks. Not bad, but he is a punter. Quarterback, 2nd round, Corey McCray, 78 overall. That's a steal. 2nd round QB, not bad at all. Frank Smith, the left tackle, is supposed to go way up there. Ended up falling to 13th for the Chargers. Still a decent pick, though. 84 overall for them. Walter Blanzett, left guard. Last pick of the 2nd round, 81 overall. That's decent. Colts, 82 overall. TJ Petrovich, 4th pick in the draft. We'll see how he turns out as a halfback. Samuel Ajay, this is the other left tackle. He goes at 85. So we end up getting the best left tackle, and so far who has been the best prospect in this whole draft. And wow, Luke Chatham, 83 overall quarterback at 18th. That's a steal for the Eagles. Falcons, 77 overall, their highest. 49ers, 78, last team up. Giants, 85. Whew, that is a nice pick. Tracy Mare, left guard out of Central Michigan. 25th overall. I want to see his strength because, hey, if it's any kind of decent, I regret not picking him. 88, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Decent number. Run blocking, decent. 79, starting off with that anyways. Pass blocking, 86. Why is this cat playing guard? He should be playing left tackle. Anyways, that is our stock of picks. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to turn it back over to Future Tuxedo T-Shirt. He's going to take you through our final roster moves and set up the very exciting 2017 regular season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll turn it over to him right now. All right, guys, time now to do our final rundown of this squad. That will be your Jacksonville Jaguars 2017 finalized roster for the final year of this series. This is episode 13. We got 2 more after this on our quest for for a championship. Juan Delian, Ronald Barker, Nick Foles, our starting quarterbacks. Foles brought in after the draft to be our 3rd QB. Lynch, Ridley, Suber, Armstrong, and Velos. Velos here strictly as a kick returner, not going to get any carries. That is mostly where Suber and Armstrong are going to play as well. So then Suber getting more catches would be great. Big expectations for Marshawn Lynch. The guy's 31. He's won a championship in real life. In this game, though, he's not. He has not won it yet. You can see here his acceleration, his agility, his speed, still as good as it ever was. His carrying, 97. His trucking, 99. The dude's sick. He can do anything we want him to do. He just has to get it done. Marcel Reese, the fullback, nothing left to be said about him. 99 overall, always. Wide receivers, we got Randall Cobb, Justin Blackman, sick. Cecil Shorts, Drick Haskell drops a lot after last season, though his number will go back up right away. Randy McNary, the backup tight end, really a third-string tight end, listed here as a wide receiver. We got so much depth here, no real change there. Tight ends we got going on: Derek Carrier, stellar season last year. Richie Callender, rookie. Big expectations for him if Carrier goes down, though knock on wood that does not happen. You can see here their numbers, again, reflected in the PDF. Big expectations, especially for a guy who's very much in the same build as Carrier. Very similar skill set. Should fit into the spread scheme very nicely if he has to. Campbell will be our starting left tackle to start the season, though after the preseason and his player progression taken into advance, because this is week 1. We haven't done the week 1 game yet. Chandler Gartner sitting at 90 overall, the exact same number as Bruce Campbell. Pretty amazing. Marcel Jones, some great depth. Keithan Cross, 89. Rob Hardy, dominant at 92. But what else is new for that cat? Cross and Hardy, so good. Mosley will be injured for 1 week to start the season. Gardner out for 4 weeks to start the season, by the way, in case you didn't see that. Brooks coming along behind him. At the right tackle spot, Vizioso, stellar in his second year. Jokel, 94. What else is new? He's dominant. Earl Zoe Shorter sitting at 90. Ray Edwards improved up 4 points from last season. Got to love that. DeMarcus Ware, the other half of that dangerous equation. Andre Branch, the backup. Linval Joseph, Jesse Williams, the starters there. Williams out for just 1 game to start the year. Dieterich and Martin have got a lot of play there as well. Goal line situations for injuries, etc. They've been great in those cases. Hopefully they don't have to play too much this year. As you can see, loaded at outside linebacker. Mingo, Stanford, Kendricks, Atwater. All 4 of these guys are good enough to start for teams in the NFL, and we got 4 of them. They're going to help out on special teams, the ones who aren't starting. And the ones who do start will be great for depth in case of injury, that kind of thing. Middle linebackers, Darrell Washington, obviously the best there is. 99 tackling ability. Stellar, future Hall of Famer. Donald Butler, the backup for the 3rd straight season. Xavier Gooden, 93 overall. This kid is amazing. Dajuan Buey will not be the backup at that spot. We'll flip somebody over to the other side for that. Dwayne Gratz, 95. Terrell Jefferson, 95. 2 best cover guys in the league as far as I'm concerned. Their man coverage skills, 99, 97 overall. Respectively. Greenwood, sick. Van Dyke is a speed demon, and Jeremy Harris finally probably going to get some playing time this year, hopefully, because he's been great. Blake and Cyprin, the rookie sensation, probably the best 2 starting centers in the league, though that pair is just dynamic. 2 very good backups in Evans and Brzezinski. Justin Tucker, you see that there. His kick power, 96, accuracy, 99. There's no one better than Carter Porter. Boom. Punter, already 90 overall in a second year of play. 97 kick power, 93 kick accuracy. The kid is solid. So there we have it. We have our final roster ever for this series set. We have so much talent. We have so much skill. We have so much ability across the board. I cannot freaking wait to start getting these games going. You can see here our first game is in KC at Arrowhead against the reigning Super Bowl champions, the amazing KC team that went 7-9 in the regular season and then went on a run in the playoffs, 4 straight wins, boom, Super Bowl champions, with Brandon Weeden at quarterback, of all people. So, without really anything left to say, thank you so much for sticking with me to this point of the series. I hope you guys are excited about this season half as much as I am, because that'll mean that you are ridiculously excited. I cannot wait to get this thing underway. So many great things, I think, in store for this Jaguars team. This is the best squad I've put together yet in this series, and I thank you guys all for your feedback, your suggestions so far. We are basically 90 plus overall at every single position. The only small takeaways from that exceptions are Carrier, Cross, and Mosley, who will all be 90 plus very soon into the season. And those 3 cats, even then, those 3 who are not 90 overall, still very solid in what they do. They're all also another thing, they're all 87 plus. So we'll be 90 very soon, but even then, in the meantime, still very solid players. This team, yeah, again, I'm so proud of how this team has developed over 5 years. Going into their 5th season, I have very high expectations. Anything short of a Super Bowl victory will be considered a failure for this team. And I just thank you guys so much for sticking with me, sticking with this squad. Hopefully we get the best out of them and the best out of this series. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'm Tuxedo T-Shirt, and I'm out.